U.S. Senator Chuck Schumer says New York has a bug problem, and he's not referring to spiders or bed bugs, but a tiny pest that could devastate New York's wine industry.
Yeah, it is a big bug problem, and tonight our Erie News Now Washington, D.C. correspondent Rachel Knapp is joining us live from the U.S. Capitol with the details on what this is. Good evening, Rachel.
Well, good evening. It's called the spotted lanternfly, and it doesn't bite or sting people, but it could kill crops. And so Senator Chuck Schumer, he wants to use federal dollars to make sure that it's not going to ruin New York's vineyards.
New York's wine industry brings in more than $6 billion each year. It provides thousands of jobs, and tourists are eager to sip a nice glass of Riesling or any other local specialty from wineries all over the state, including the southern tier. But this tiny pest, known as the spotted lanternfly, threatens the industry.
It's just a matter of time.
Sam Filler with the New York Wine and Grape Foundation says so far the infestation hasn't hit New York's major wine grape growing regions yet. But there's been sightings all over, including the southern tier.
It's definitely a concern because the experience in Pennsylvania is the spotted lanternfly totally decimated vineyards that had to be replanted, and it's not a inexpensive proposition. It's also a threat not just to the wine industry, but the juice grape industry is really big in New York as well. So there's a lot of Concord grape growers in western New York, especially in Chautauqua County. So there's over 20,000 acres of grapes planted there, and those are definitely more threatened than some of the wine grape areas of the state because they share multiple borders with Pennsylvania, where the infestation's been really bad.
Senator Chuck Schumer is urging the USDA to use roughly $200 million in a specialty crops pest program to bolster the state's efforts to prevent the insect from spreading. And he's asking for an extra $22 million in the upcoming federal budget to deal with invasive pests like the spotted lanternfly.
So they really have a lot to lose if spotted lanternfly shows up and destroys their vineyards.
So New York State is working really hard to educate, these grape growers and producers on how to make sure to keep these pests out of their vineyards. But they are saying that if you do spot one of these bugs, to report it to the state, but more importantly, do your part, squash it, kill it. Back to you.